Well, 1 in 4 children in Oklahoma struggles with hunger. That's why the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma began the Food for Kids program, an effort that's getting a boost thanks to some young people whose love of livestock goes beyond the show ring. Our Rob McClendon has the story.
Well, the Oklahoma Youth Expo is the annual spring livestock show that's famous for the number of scholarships and awards it gives out each year. But at this year's event, you didn't have to come home with a blue ribbon to be a real winner. Welcome to the big time. In the livestock judging world, it doesn't get much more competitive or more lucrative than the Oklahoma Youth Expo.
I sold the Grand Mare.
Since its beginnings in 2002, OYE has provided $2.1 million in scholarships to more than 1,000 Oklahoma students. But for every winner, there doesn't have to be a loser.
Winning the second ever Diamond Hats Animal Donation Challenge is the Shattuck 4-H and FFA chapter.
Beginning in 2013, a growing number of exhibitors are donating their animals to the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma.
And we'll have lunch with the
Shattuck FFA, naturally, we've always, if there's an opportunity to give, we give.
Paige Gosney is president of her local FFA chapter.
When we came to OYE and we heard that there was an opportunity to donate our animals to hunger, to the cause for hunger, we just saw that as a great opportunity, and we kind of all came together and saw that as the right thing to do.
Altogether, 22 animals were donated, one of which was Duke Kellen's.
Well, it's just kind of bittersweet. I mean, you get to give back to the community they just give us so much, as like donations and stuff like that. And then we get to give back to people who don't really have a lot that they kind of need.
1 in 4 Oklahoma children struggles with hunger, a problem that takes us out of the show ring and across town. This is the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma. Inside this warehouse, there's more than 4 million pounds of food. 4 million pounds of food that will be distributed this month to over 90,000 people a week, and 40% of those children.
We got a call from the school principal and told us they had a child literally standing in line for school breakfast, passed out. And they discovered that child had nothing to eat all weekend but a hot dog with no bun. And they called and asked us what we could do about it. And that's
Rodney Bivens is the executive director of the Regional Food Bank and says that's when they began their Backpack for Kids program.
Well, it's a really simple program that school identifies the child who has very little or nothing to eat over the weekend, and they get a backpack on Friday afternoon to bridge that gap from school lunch on Friday at 11:30 until school breakfast on Monday morning.
Last year, the Backpack for Kids program fed more than 15,000 students in 477 schools across central and western Oklahoma.
We're putting beef sticks in our backpacks, and we didn't know where they're even being produced, and we didn't like all the ingredients in it. I said, that doesn't make sense to me. We're a beef state. We should produce these in our own state. And so we started talking to various people in the state, the Oklahoma Farm Bureau, Beef Council, other people, the Pork Council, involved in the project, and came up with a novel concept. We produce these, get the beef donated in the state of Oklahoma. We have a processor in Chickasha, Oklahoma that processes them for us. Then Ralph's Meat Packing Plant in Perkins puts them into beef sticks. So it's a win-win situation.
Since its inception, the Beef for Backpacks and Pork for Packs has grown to the point of about 40,000 of these sticks being packed up for chronically hungry children every month.
I think it's tremendous, Les. The whole FFA program, it's not just about raising the animals. That's really a critical part of it. It's about leadership, teaching those skills to those young men and women that can be successful throughout their lives.
Good week.
Oklahoma youth, helping other children they may never meet, avoid hunger while learning a lesson that could last a lifetime. At this year's State FFA Convention, representatives from the Regional Food Bank will meet with members of the FFA about how they can get more involved. And with more than 350 FFA chapters here in Oklahoma, you can just imagine the impact that could have on childhood hunger in the state.